have a nice Halloween? Everything's spooky?
Yeah, it's good.
You watch a scary movie?
I did not.
Oh,
I don't remember what I was doing on Halloween, honestly. I think I was watching One Piece.
Oh.
I was trying to catch up with the latest episode now that One Piece is going seasonal.
Nice.
So it was just like, ooh. I feel like that was a thing for One Piece that was well overdue at this point, like for it just to go seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they for whatever reason felt like they didn't need to do that, and then the animators were just like, all right, well, let's kick it into high gear, and then they'll have to let us go seasonal. That and
you think
just how I feel like a lot of like the animation studios have kind of been going recently, not and the pressure of not crunching animators and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. You think that's going to affect the show in any major way?
I don't think so. I think if anything, I think it might even be better for the show in the long run. Honestly,
okay.
I think it's better I think it's better for a lot of people. I think it's better for Oda. I think it's better for the animators. I think that they can accurately plan out episodes now, and I feel like the pacing is going to get a lot better.
Okay.
That's just me. But as much as I like it, see, it was like, oh, you tune in on every Sunday basically, and it's just like, oh, there's a new episode of One Piece or whatever. I've done that for fucking however many years at this point and stuff like that. It's only recently have I gotten to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna let it kind of like build, like kind of like just like a backlog, just build up, and then I'll just watch it when something cool happens or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm just sitting here going, just like, This will be the first time where it's like, man, we'll have to be waiting a long time. It's not a bad thing as long as they can keep pace. I think if you can do at least like a season a year, I think that'll be.
I think so.
And which sounds like is what they're going to be doing anyway.
How many episodes are going to be in a season?
I mean, they said at least 26, so it could be more depending on how big the arcs are and stuff like that.
So, around like 2, maybe 3 episodes a month, depending?
Yeah.
Okay. Why not? I
have a feeling that probably when the big arcs, whatever they may be, after Elbath, I still don't know what they're going to be doing after Elbath. It really depends on how Elbath goes. in my mind, it's like it's really cool that they announced in 2027 is the first time we're going to see Rocksteady Zebek in the anime, and I'm just like, considering where the manga is right now, I'm so excited for that. If you are not caught up with the manga, you're missing out. Have you read the latest one for One Piece?
I have not yet. No.
Oh, it's so good. It's like chapter 1164. It's real good. There's only going to be one more chapter left of the backstory, basically, that started out as Herald and then went to Rocks.
Oh.
They said it said at the end that the next chapter will be the climax. And I was just like, dang. All right, before we get too far away, I guess I'll do the intro.
Mm-hmm. Probably for the best.
Probably don't want to wait too long on that one. So, hello and welcome to another episode of It Never Ends. I'm Andrew. Over there is my good buddy Alex. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'll be doing just dandy. So, don't have a ton, but I think there's one that I think we both kind of want to talk about is the Nintendo's failed patent to try and get the animal capturing system patented, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they were declined in both the U.S. patent office as well as the Japanese patent office. So I was just like, it's all good.
Hell yeah.
Considering I was thinking that Nintendo might actually throw around their weight and actually get this through, I'm just like, oh boy, what the fuck is that gonna mean for developing games from here on out, basically. But luckily, we don't have to deal with that yet.
Yes, exactly.
There's always ways that they might try and still finagle this, but I think at this point it's going to be hard pressed.
Which is good. It's... I don't really know what else to really say to that. Yeah, that patent was stupid. I'm glad it didn't go through.
It just comes back to, like... It's what we always talked about with, like, the fucking stupid-ass Nemesis system patent that Warner Brothers did years ago at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, like, all it's ever done and all it's ever really going to be patents when it comes to, you know, the gaming industry especially is just, like, it just threatens so much. And it's, like, especially with this one being such a generic thing, I think probably one hurt it for various reasons, obviously. But it's like, how can you say you patent a thing that you didn't even start, really? And it's like, oh, you're just doing this for a vendetta against this one other company. And they go, no. But yes. But no. We swear. So, I don't know. There's not much to say on that one. It was just like, oh, glad that actually, like,
I mean...
did happen, though.
It makes you wonder because, like, isn't it, like... Right now Sony has the similar grievance with this game Light of Mortem where they're like, do they have a lawsuit going on against them?
Well, I'm that's not necessarily so much for, like this one's different from that, basically. They're just saying, like, Nintendo just doesn't like the idea of them using a core mechanic that's been Pokemon basically since the start, whereas... with that case, it's literally basically a one-for-one, like basically a plagiarism of Horizon Zero Dawn, is what they're basically claiming.
Well, was Nintendo not like super pissed off that like a lot of the?
I mean, yes, but they
Palworld
didn't have a case against that though. Unfortunately, they didn't.
So, do you think that Sony has like a case against the Light of Mortem people?
I absolutely do. It's like when you put the artwork side by side and you put the gameplays and the trailers between side by side, they're almost identical. So, it's all about whether or not you... Because I feel like we've talked about this before. It's just games just like, or that are just like, feel like they're carbon copies of other games, basically, especially like more popular games.
Mm.
And it's like, oh, well, the idea of this might have been like... And I think in this scenario, when it comes to the Sony one, it's like it just comes down to the how close and the storyline between the two of them. Because one of them was that they wanted to, wasn't it that they wanted to publish Horizon Zero Dawn, but then were denied by Sony or something like that, and Sony said we'll just do it ourselves, and they said fine, we'll just make our own then.
No, that's not at all how Horizon went. Horizon was developed internally by Sony.
Yes, but I think that this company that is making Light of Mortem wanted to do that.
Oh yeah, they wanted. I see what you're saying. They're the ones that wanted to make like a Horizon type game. I think they wanted to work on the MMO. I think that's what Light of Mortem is. It's an MMO of sorts.
Yeah.
They wanted to work on it, and Sony would publish it. And I think Sony wanted to publish it internally, which, I mean, I want. Trust Polaris Quest to handle your MMO, but I'm not sure how much experience Sony has with MMOs.
Yeah.
To be fair, but yeah. But they already put, like you said, they already put all this work into it, so they're like, fuck it, we'll just release it without Sony's permission.
Exactly.
Call it something else.
It's because like they're saying like they had basically all the assets for like Horizon with it as well, so it was just like they basically just use like the models and the art and stuff like that. It's just, it was a very specific scenario that like made me believe that this could actually work type thing.
So does Sony have like kind of a case going against the Light of Mortem people, or
they do have a lawsuit here is what I'm reading.
Okay.
So, where that's going to go, I don't know. That's right. It's being developed. It was like it's a Tencent studio. That's right. So they're basically suing Tencent.
Damn, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about now with the Palworld situation, do you think Nintendo's still going to go after them now that
Fuck yeah! Are
patent
you
has
kidding
been?
me?
Well, what are they going to go after them for? Then?
They'll
Like,
find
if
they'll
they
find
can't-
ways. This is Nintendo. They'll get their big lawyers on the case.
I get they're going to get their lawyers on the case, but what are the lawyers going to sue them for?
Nothing, because
can't-
they don't have anything to stand on, and Palworld knows that. That's why That's why they're just like, nah, you can't do nothing against us.
You can't just go to a company and be like, "Hey, we're gonna sue you because we don't like you." Like there has to be something.
There has
sue
to
them
be
for.
legitimate reasons. Yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering what they're going to pick if Nintendo's really going to continue like kicking their feet over something that, let's be honest, really does not matter.
Does not matter at all.
Like even if like say they make a sequel to Palworld or whatever, that's not going to be like a threat to Pokemon in any way. Like that doesn't make any sense.
No. It's just Nintendo wanting to protect their IPs or whatever. They feel threatened by this for some reason because they feel like, oh, if people start playing Palworld, they'll expect that quality of game from us because God forbid we have fucking Niantic or whatever throwing any fucking time.
Good fucking
to making
Pokemon
games good.
Pokemon World ZA was dog shit.
Oh yeah,
this game is.
I've been told it's been universally like hated as like the worst Pokemon game put out in a lot of recent years. The funny thing is, it still sells and people still play it because it's Pokemon.
And that's why like and Nintendo's really being like a giant bitch about it. Like you released actual garbage and it still did well.
Yep.
Fuck
and
is
it will
your
continue
problem?
to do well.
And you know what? I find this to be a very interesting, because I just remember this announcement now. A very interesting comparison. It's like when Rivals came out. It's like Blizzard didn't kick their feet, being like, "Well, they can't do the fucking hero shooter thing. That's our thing." It's like all their heroes play similar to our heroes. It's like, what the fuck is this? They, for the first time in a long time, actually locked in, being like, "Okay."
Yeah. They actually started like doing good development and listening to the community and what they were hoping for from a game and stuff like that, and like making the game actually better. Whoa, that's crazy, dude.
The crazy thing is too, right? Recently, Rivals. I'm not sure if you. I think we talked about it where they had the Marvel Zombies like.
Yeah, I remember. I
Single
think we
player
talked about
AI
this last
mode.
week.
That was dog shit, by the way.
Really?
that was very, very bad. I'm a little surprised they released it like that.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, it was still something, you know.
It's something. Something better than nothing, I guess, right?
Yeah, I also think it was like a seasonal thing for Halloween, which is fine. Like they can always do like more single player stuff with Marvel Rivals. It's like can't really blame them when it's, you know, your first go at it. But recently there's been a really cryptic like trailer coming up for the next season of Overwatch that just says the story continues. And no one really knows what that means. Is it like they're gonna have a big lore event and they're gonna have like a bunch of new maps alongside the new hero that's gonna come out, or are they actually going to like, you know, double down and start releasing those single player missions that they were talking about for so
the ones
long?
that they canceled and said they couldn't be done.
Yeah, so it's like we're in a spot now where Marvel Rivals comes out and they're doing single player stuff, so they're like, damn. People are thinking, well, we should actually go back and do that thing we told people we're going to do. Now, obviously, I can't confirm that. There's been, like, no announcement, no trailer for any single-player, like, Overwatch stuff.
Yeah,
but
it's
just kind of
it's just people theorizing.
It's just kind of out in the wild right now, but it's kind of crazy to think about, because, in a way, like, if Blizzard really wanted to, they could have gone that route, like the PUBG route, where it's like, well, Fortnite can't do all this stuff. That's our thing. Palworld can't do this stuff. That's our thing. Just being like like the rivals can't do that. That's our thing. It's just it makes me look at like the Palworld situation that much more and being like, it's just so fucking stupid. To be that like peeved about like a little competition.
And the thing is you're absolutely right, because it's like realistically, it's like that's never been a thing in the gaming industry ever, really. So it's just like this actually works better, and part of the reason why Palworld has like kind of like just like, cool, keep doing what you're doing, Nintendo. You're never gonna win, so just keep on trying. But eventually, maybe one day, maybe you will win, but you never know, and stuff like that. So we're probably just gonna like, they just have this confidence in them that they are like, Nintendo can't touch us. Like, they can bitch and moan all they want or whatever and stuff like that, but there's nothing they can do. Like,
yeah,
realistically. So it's like, so Palworld's going to sit here and be better, and Nintendo's just going to be like, how can we screw them over? And rather than looking at themselves internally and going, how can we make Pokemon better to make it better than Palworld? I don't know, make a good game. Make the game that everyone wants, maybe. Just
make
like
a Pokemon game
where you
shit. Yeah.
It's like, I cannot tell you how many years people have wanted a game where you could span multiple fucking regions and stuff like that. You do multiple gym sessions and stuff like that. See Pokemon from all generations, basically, in that case. Could you imagine if they made that game? I think legitimately, I would buy that game. I really would. I would be interested into playing that Pokemon game.
It would be fantastic, and even with Pokemon World ZA, like, that is something that I think people would also be like super hyped about. That's all. You're not going into like their 1v1 like battle mode every time you encounter a new Pokemon. You're just doing it out in the world now. Like, that's cool, but you have to make it good. Is the problem.
Yeah.
And they cheaped out again, man.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that everybody had. I would buy that game. I would buy the game that you were talking about.
Yeah.
But Nintendo's not willing to spend the time or the money on it.
Yeah, they're not willing to put the time, money into making an actual good Pokemon game, because they're just like, why do that when we're just the best that there is? And then when Palworld comes around and goes, well, I think we could do this better, and we could throw it with guns too, because it'd be fun.
I think there's like a mode where you can like build your own like house, and like you can have your pals like do stuff too. I think there's like a tower defense mode now.
Is there?
There's a lot going on in Palworld. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that an oil rig?
Who knows what goes on in the world of Palworld? I don't.
I don't know either. But
I think Fortnite. What is Fortnite anymore?
I don't know. I think alongside Palworld, I think they released like a half sequel or wait, what is this?
Isn't that like a farm game or something like that?
Yeah, they're making a farming simulator. I think earlier they made either them or someone else that used the Palworld license, which I think is a really funny thing for them to do, made a dating simulator. Yep, here it is. Palworld more than just pals. Cool, you can fuck animals now.
Hell yeah.
That's fun.
Don't actually.
That's a really good sound clip that you can use against me one day. But it's... I just think it's so stupid, because I wouldn't be surprised either if like every time like a new update comes with... that comes with like this Nintendo thing, that if Palworld just got like a spike in like players or sales numbers, because Nintendo can just not fucking help themselves. It's like an indie game that released, over a year ago now?
It's well over a year at this point, isn't it? And when did Palworld come out?
I think on Steam it at least says...
it was the beginning of last year. It says January 19th, 2024.
So almost 2 years now. It's only a few months away.
Yeah. Jeez.
To be that pissed off about a game almost 2 years old. It's like, in the world of gaming, they may as well be like forever ago.
Right?
2 years.
A lot of games don't last more than a few months a lot of the time. So the fact is that people still talk about a game that's 2 years old. It's saying something.
I think another big like difference between like the Sony thing and and the Nintendo Palworld thing is with Sony they're going after Tencent. It's like a company as big as Tencent is ripping us off. Yeah, it's not like whereas Nintendo they're just going after a little like independently run indie game company.
Yeah. Yeah, and the situations I always say are different too. It's like while Palworld still utilizes, similar looking creatures as to Pokemon basically. In the end it's not really Pokemon though,
No.
Like
Yeah.
and that's the thing is it's like yes, they use like anime looking creatures basically and stuff like that, but it's like in essence it's still not Pokemon. But when you look at like Horizon Zero Dawn and Flight of Mortuarium or whatever the game was called, it was like it's almost a 1-for-1. Like it's hard to say that these are two different games, whereas with Palworld and Pokemon, there's a pretty distinct difference. And that's saying something from a person that doesn't play either. Well, doesn't really play Pokemon and does not play Palworld at all.
Well, the cute little sheep creatures are carrying around assault rifles, and the other one, there's not.
Hey.
I think it's pretty obvious to anyone that they're different games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, is that it's just that distinct between the two. Whereas, like, with, the Sony example, it's hard to tell the difference, it looks a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, when Sony says it's like, this is partially to, like, stop people from even thinking this is like in association to like Horizon Zero Dawn, I think they have a point. I think they have a legitimate point.
Sony calls Tencent's defense nonsense. It says it's playing a shell game to protect Light of Morcham, a Horizon knockoff so blatant. Fans loudly decried the obvious and pervasive copying and new lawsuit filing. So what was the defense? It argued the lawsuit...
From Tencent or
the defense from Tencent, yeah.
I have no idea. I haven't looked at it.
Well, that's why I'm looking at it right now. Filing a motion to dismiss in September, it argued the lawsuit was premature, said no actual infringement had happened yet, and claimed Sony was trying to seek an impermissible monopoly on genre conventions, and that Light of Morcham, time-honored tropes embraced by scores of other games like The Legend of Zelda, Far Cry, and more. In a new 35-page court filing filed today and obtained by the Game Post, Sony is urging the court to reject Tencent's nonsense attempt to get the case thrown out. Sony says Tencent is playing a shell game with its many subsidiaries to shield itself from liability. So, Tencent is saying they can't sue us yet because we haven't infringed on anything yet. Okay, it's the word "yet" that's kind of getting me.
Yeah.
As someone that would be working for the courts, I'm like, okay, so you do intend to infringe on Sony's copyright, though? And they say that, like Legend of Zelda and Far Cry, none of those games.
So they're just saying like, "Oh, it's all open world elements," and I go, "No."
It's a pretty obvious copy just by looking at it.
Yeah.
It's like if you put like Legend of Zelda next to Light of Morcham and say one is or to Horizon Zero Dawn. And said they were copying one another, people would call you insane. You put Light of Morcham next to Horizon, and people are like, oh yeah, that's an obvious copy.
It's like, I look at the artwork that they even have, like, they have, like, just on the Steam page or whatever, and I compare it to, like, the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff, and it's just, like, the, like horse animal that, or, like, deer animal they're riding on, looks almost identical. The long neck thing, identical. It's just... I don't know, man. I think this is a whole bunch of BS or whatever.
And if they could point out to a like single other video game that had a similar looking art style to Horizon, I'd say like, okay, that's at least something. They couldn't, and since the games play so similar, it's like, well, no, this makes absolutely no sense. The thing is, too, you know for an absolute fact that when they made this MMO, like, Sony was already in talks. They were already Horizon MMO is apparently also already being worked on. So it's like this company just barging in, trying to confuse people into thinking like it's the Horizon MMO. It's slimy. It's slimy and it's gross.
What a argument Tencent has. Tencent has argued that the U.S. court lacked jurisdiction because the game hadn't launched yet, and I'm like, oh.
What?
Basically claiming that Sony's only basing this off of the official artwork that they've posted about the Light of Mortuarium, and I'm sitting here going just like,
you released gameplay for it.
Yeah, and the gameplay you released.
These
are also promos that you said were done in game.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about here? So basically, they can't sue you if you don't release it. So, aka, you're just not releasing this game. Is that what I'm understanding here?
I guess so.
Oh man!
You can't sue us because we haven't made money off of it yet. Obviously. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have enough real world experience. That makes no sense to me.
No, it doesn't make any sense. It's just, they're just trying to figure out any way to get out of this, pretty much. This is always what's coming. What I've heard people talk about, especially with like Tencent in the past, where they just make games that are. You could almost just say are AI generated at this point because they're just oftentimes just rip off copies of something else, and it's just like they just poke the wrong bear at this point and hit too close type thing, and it's just like when you really look at it, Tencent's been doing this for a long time, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's just like, is this long overdue? Maybe, but I don't know. This is a whole thing that I'm just like, there's no fucking way Tencent wins that. I couldn't foresee them winning this. It's just so obvious and so blatant or whatever that I just you got on Sony's bad side, so they're not gonna fucking stop.
They're going to be incredibly petty about this entire thing, which
I think they have every right to be, though.
They do. I'm not saying they don't.
No, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Silly. Yeah.
Right now, like Sony's like highest earning division is their games division. They are going to pour as much time and money and be as protective of that division as they possibly can.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
What do you think happens if the courts actually throw out Sony's motion, being like, "Yeah, you can't sue them. The game hasn't come out yet."
Well, it'll just basically just be put on hold at that point. Like they're just saying, like, you can't necessarily sue us because the game isn't out yet, type thing. Not yet, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what they're trying to say. They're trying to get them any way to stop them from doing this, and then they go, "Well, the game's not out yet, so you can't do this yet." And they go, "Yeah, but if you'd ever decide to actually, release this game and that you put time and effort into, oh yeah, we're coming after you hard. We're already trying to, but
If Tencent wins this lawsuit and gets away with blatantly copying Horizon, they'll do it to other IPs as well. Hopefully Sony wins this case.
That's the funny thing is they already have. There's just a lot of the ones are either indie games or they make them different enough that they can't really be sued for it. And what oftentimes happens is what we always see from what we've seen from the gaming industry for the past couple of years is that the game comes out, doesn't do well, the game developers are laid off, and then this whole cycle just happens again and again and again. This is the big business that we've always seen from it over and over. It's just because it's Tencent, it's not always filed properly or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people in the comments here are defending Light of Morcham, actually.
Yeah, all their AI hate monkeys, yeah.
So, it will be interesting to see how this pans out. My understanding is that you need an almost one-to-one copy to get sued when it comes up to things like art. Funnily enough, Naughty Dog themselves won a lawsuit like this when they made a Mortal Kombat knockoff. What?
You mean Killer Instinct? You know, the thing that
Naughty
already exists?
Naughty Dog didn't make Killer Instinct.
Who the fuck is that? Wait, what?
Sony. I do not know what that guy is talking about.
Like I said, crazy people.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying like knockoffs are obviously stupid, but they don't see why they're illegal. I feel like a case like this is kind of overdue, if we're being honest, because it's like, well, it's not too bad as long as they're not trying to confuse or, manipulate people. But it's like that's exactly what they're doing. That's 100%. That's what they're depending on. The thing
that people are forgetting when it comes to especially a situation like this is that it's not necessarily it's hurting the game. It's not really necessarily hurting Horizon Zero Dawn. What ends up happening is this ends up hurting, or like the game itself, but it ends up hurting the brand that is Horizon basically and stuff like that. And you go, well, how is that the case? And it's like, if people can mistake this game and think it's a part of the Horizon series, that's something that Sony doesn't want.
Mm-hmm.
I was like that like that's what we're talking about here. And it's like I think that's the concept that a lot of people aren't grasping here. They see the game and they go, yeah, it's a ripoff, but like how does that really hurt it? And I go, it does though. It does. It's like it's like if like all of a sudden Tencent made a game that was like, oh, they have this like similar to Halo basically, and the main character wore a big green suit and called himself like Master Chef instead of Master Chief. Like Xbox wouldn't sit on their hands and twiddle their thumbs.
That effectively happened for an entire generation, though, is the problem.
I don't know.
There was a point in time where every studio was trying to make the quote-unquote Halo killer. You could argue that's effectively what Killzone was.
Yeah, but
every game tried to rip off Halo.
Yes, there was always the game that tried to be that. But imagine that a Halo game did that with the character looking almost identical to Master Chief, the Arbiters and aliens all just looked exactly the same instead of just being like a sci-fi kind of shooter type thing.
Yeah, that wouldn't be okay.
That's what I mean. It's like I'm not saying that games can't take the genre and spin it on its head and do stuff like that. Like we see that happen all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it went for one copy almost identical to that, and when you look at it in the case of this, it's like it's just like you look at the two main characters side by side, and it's just like it's so similar. They might not be direct one for ones, but it's just so similar that it's hard to distinguish between the two of them. You'd almost confuse the two of them together, and that's what Sony's trying to I don't know, just
100%
stop basically.
Here's one. This is the top comment. My other hobby being photography. It's been interesting seeing some Chinese companies throw off the mantle of being cheap knockoffs and start innovating. DJI, Viltrox, Leoa. Meanwhile, in video game land, titans of the industry hold up poorly photocopied work and yell, "Nah, bro, it's totally different."
Yeah. That's pretty much what this is. It's just like, oh. Realistically, I just don't know how at this point, it's like, if they changed up the character models and, like, the enemy types, maybe, I just don't know how you could do it without it being looking so similar type thing, but it's like, I'm sure you could. They're just not going to.
So is it next month or or in December that the Game Awards are?
They should be announcing the nominees soon.
Okay, that's pretty exciting.
It's like, it's usually beginning of December, or maybe late November, depending on that. But it's probably going to be early December when it actually happens.
Nice. You excited for the Game Awards this year?
It's whatever. About how I felt the past couple of years. It's like,
I haven't been excited for the Game Awards in a very long time.
Exactly.
I'm excited to see what'll get announced. I'm a little nervous to see when it gets announced, actually.
Yeah. See how
totally
that goes.
honest.
I see here that YouTube says it's cracking down on skin gambling and violent video game videos. Interesting.
I mean, skin gambling, good.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, that's probably well overdue at this point.
But I'm not sure how I feel about the violent video games.
Yeah, it's like, how do they deem violent video games at this point? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Who the fuck knows?
How will they deem that? Like, because it's like, do you deem a specific game as too violent, or do you do this by a video basis? Because it's like, imagine like next year, somebody's playing like GTA 5 or 6 or whatever type thing, and it's just
isn't going to happen.
Exactly, and it's just like, I'm sitting here going just like, and an example that I was kind of reading here, it was just like, oh yeah, so let's say somebody's playing GTA 6 or whatever, and they're making funny jokes and quips and stuff like that, but meanwhile on screen it's just like they're fucking gunning down like a bunch of guys or whatever type thing. Is that considered violent or funny? And you go, well, by going on what's on the screen, violent, but what you're hearing might not be necessarily. And you go, who the fuck knows that? And it's like, does it just mean like when they say that it's like, well, age restricting?
In terms of like if they're,
I'd have to assume what I mean by this means just like that it has certain age restrictions on it then.
Something like that, yeah, because if they really came out and were like, no GTA 6 videos, it's like, that's not going to happen. Yeah. I'm not going to listen to anybody fear-mongering that shit either, because
no,
everybody, and I mean legitimately everybody, knows that would lose YouTube so much money. The amount of giant, like, super popular videos. I think one of the isn't GTA 5 like one of the top 3 even still, like, most watched videos on video games on YouTube? Something probably crazy like that?
Probably, if I had to guess.
It is one of, like, it's in a league of its own. It's like a huge subgenre. So YouTube's just not going to get rid of that. I could see, like, maybe, like, some, like you said, age restricting thing going on, or if it was, yeah, I don't know. I could see them cracking down on gambling, because
I mean, yes, they've
every said, like, platform should crack down on gambling.
Yeah, it's like it's just like, they crack down on social casinos, stuff like that. Content that's about gambling, stuff that's not where the buy will be age restricted behind the new rules, as well as addition will be content that is advertised by third party and stuff like that will just be straight up banned, basically. Which is interesting, because I don't know how they determine that necessarily. I guess
Mm-hmm.
if it's just about a third party source or whatever, that's sure. Hmm. Oh, that's interesting. It's like even popular like games like Madden, EA, Sports FC. When it comes to just like loot boxes in general, and it's like yeah, those are the two bigger ones when it comes to kind of like let me just crack packs or whatever type thing, and try and get a messy or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who cares? What's more interesting to me is what they would consider violent video games and exactly how that entails. And they didn't really specify exactly what it is. It's just people are theorizing that it's probably going to be age restricted, and as a result of everything being age restricted, it means that these videos are going to get way less views than they probably would, just because that's just how it always goes. When you already cut off like a major set, especially for a game like a GTA, basically, where it's just like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes kids that are probably shouldn't be playing GTA at this point will watch videos on that, and it's just like it'll be harder for them to watch theoretically, assuming that there's actual moderation happening on the China
Yeah.
kids YouTube thing. So I'm like, I don't know.
Modera- Moderation? Are you kidding me? Like 5 billion videos are uploaded to YouTube every second.
No, I'm
Something
saying
crazy like
moderation
that.
on the kids side of like YouTube. Basically, it's like whether or not
Yeah.
there it's actually age restricted properly and everything like that. It's like if a kid's like 9, 10 years old, is it properly age restricted, or is he gonna say no, I'm 18?
It's always going to be the no, I'm 18 thing. And
Exactly.
even if they don't, even if like a parent monitors that shit,
They'll
all
find
sorts of.
ways.
Remember the whole Elsa gate thing that happened a while ago? Like the crazy, super inappropriate, like Elsa Spider-Man videos that got like trillions of views or some
Oh
bullshit like
yeah, I
that.
do remember that now. I was like, Elsa,
That
what?
that's coming back because of K-pop Demon Hunters.
Of course it is.
Like the super, and now they can basically AI generate those videos. It's like it's becoming a huge problem again.
Yep.
Fucking YouTube, dude.
It's a crazy time, man.
One of those companies that can never just get their shit together.
It's also, I think it's also for a site like YouTube, it's pretty fucking hard
Mm.
too. But yeah, I agree with you as well. It's like you got to try a little bit harder as well.
Mm.
It's like you might not get everything, but you could try a little bit harder, maybe. I don't know.
Speaking of companies that can't get their shit together, which seems to be the theme of this video, this episode, we have not talked about the whole Twitch thing that happened. Have you heard about
Switch
this?
thing? I have not heard. What?
TwitchCon happened recently,
Oh, I did hear a little
and
something about this. I don't know
and
what it
at
is,
the
though.
at the Emiru meet and greet event, which, if you don't know, she's one of the more popular streamers on the platform. I did not know because I'm not a gooner, but yeah, she was assaulted.
Oh.
At the meet and greet, some dude tried to like grab on and start kissing on her and stuff like that. And she is now accusing Twitch of not taking the situation seriously and that they seriously mishandled the situation. First off, like before we even start with this, they should have absolutely had more like security or stuff
Security
like
needs to be
that.
way tighter.
Mm-hmm. Uh, bags are checked. Access different areas. But there's a security. Such. With nearly 2 million followers, was assaulted in a meet and greet on the first day of TwitchCon. And despite saying time and time again safety and security is its highest priority, she was left feeling hurt and upset by how Twitch handled it during and after the fact. I remember hearing something about this. Like, they said, like, oh yeah, we threw the person out immediately, but then there was videos of them just, shoving the guy off and just letting him walk the fuck away, which is insane.
No,
I don't
you
understand how
should
he was.
probably get the police involved at least a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
don't understand how he was allowed to make it to me in the first place. Let's read this, actually. Oh, it is quite long. That's okay. Um, he was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon and even in front of another creator's meet and greet, grab me in my face and try to kiss me. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to, but a lot of people have pointed out it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're 100% right. It definitely could have been worse.
However, there were at least 3 or 4 other TwitchCon security staff in the area who did not react and let the guy walk away, as you can see in the clip since they don't even appear in the frame. The woman who was walking me away is my own personal manager, and behind the booth, the only 2 people who were checking on me and comforting me were her and my friend. None of the TwitchCon staff came to ask what happened or if I was okay. My friend who was present told me the Twitch security were also behind the booth afterwards, joking about how they didn't even see what happened, and immediately laughing and moving on, talking about something else. So if no one was checking if I was okay, if I needed anything, or if they let the guy run away initially, I have no idea what anyone hired to keep the event safe was even doing. In Twitch's statement, they said the guy was immediately caught and detained. I'm sorry, but that is a blatant lie. He was allowed to walk away from my meet and greet, and I didn't hear he was caught until hours after he attacked me. And it felt like this only happened because of my manager pressing for it. Not because TwitchCon staff present thought it was a big deal. That is insane. If that's how they treat their biggest streamer on the platform, imagine how they treat the other creators that are there.
That
is repulsive. Yeah, I'll let you go on.
I don't want to. I want to say like this is like, oh, this is the first thing that ever happened. I don't want to downplay this in any way, shape, or form. But what I do want to say about this is that, one, yes, Twitch needs to get their shit together, because I think that they don't realize exactly. They need to treat like their streamers, especially these bigger streamers, as kind of basically just celebrities at this point. Like, it's really what needs to happen, and the fact that they're not even doing that is just stupid and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know. It's just like sports and celebrities basically are all security's always been on that type thing. And it's like the fact that Twitch thinks that, oh, no crazy people ever show up to TwitchCon type thing. No one's gonna try this shit and whatever. So we're just gonna pay for the dumbest, laziest, security guards whatever, basically, that are just here to look tough and not actually do anything or police anything. And it's like, I'd honestly be more concerned about their security detail in general. Like, when they say it could be much worse, I'm like, there could have just been a straight up weapon pulled on or anything like that. And once that happens, it gets way worse from there. And if that's true, where it's like, oh, I didn't even see what happened type thing, oh, who cares type thing, and just talking about their bullshit type thing, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Exactly.
It's like, and I was like, you as Twitch need to say, I was like, we're never going to allow this ever again, basically, and saying that instead of apologizing,
we're so sorry. Yeah.
In addition to apologizing, they need to say we will be better, and everything like that, and here's exactly how we're going to do it, type thing, for future TwitchCons and any other sort of public events that we host, which I'm pretty sure is just TwitchCon, but.
Especially when it comes to streamers like Emiru. Those are the streamers that you want to be really I don't want to say delicate. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but careful with.
No, but you have to realize this is the internet, and female streamers will always kind of get this stigma.
Exactly. Like, it sucks that it has to be that way. It really does. It sucks.
There is reality, and we can downplay reality as it is, or we can talk about it and be realistically about this, and that's what we need to do.
We have to face reality, and the reality is there's a lot of really depraved, disgusting dudes on the internet, and especially on platforms like Twitch, who will watch these ladies like for just hours and hours a day, just like the most depraved gooners on the internet, and they see or hear that like they have the opportunity to meet this girl in real life. What do you think they're going to do?
Yep.
It's of course they're going to try or do something crazy, and I think if Twitch thinks that they can just be like, oh yeah, sorry
this
whatever.
happens. We'll try and do better next time. No, you won't try and do better. You will do better, and you will explain to me exactly how you will do better, and what are the security changes you're going to be handling for next time.
Because if I guarantee some people saw this, and like some disgusting asshole saw this and was like, God, look at how close he came, though. Mm-hmm. Look at how easy that was. Mm-hmm. And it's like, next TwitchCon, if they do not take this more seriously, someone else obviously is going to try something crazy with Emiru again or otherwise.
And if that happens again, they'll start losing streamers from going to TwitchCon in general, especially when it comes to their female streamers.
I think especially after just this last event with how lackadaisical, lacking Twitch's response was, I think that's going to already happen this next one. Even outside of that. Imagine if there's like... Yeah.
Sorry. That's why I say going. That just to add to that, it's just like, that's why if I'm Twitch right now, I'd be like, here's where we failed in all the security measures. Here's what we're going to do better. And if that's not good enough for them, then they're just not going to TwitchCon then. Anyway, continue your thought.
I was gonna say, like, what another streamer, Hassan, he was kind of under fire for a bunch of other bullshit. I'm not saying I want to make it clear. I'm not saying I like Hassan. What's happened with him recently is he said he didn't go to TwitchCon because he said, well, I'm scared of being assassinated because if you haven't heard of him, he's a political streamer. He talks about...
I do recognize that name.
And after this, I'm like, damn, that is almost that kind of is a legitimate concern. Because a lot of people are being like, you're just overreacting, you just don't want people, shit-talking you. But it's like, that's kind of the world we live in.
Well...
It's like people, even if he wasn't shot, it's like people would come and do something crazy. And that's so horrifying to think about.
It's always funny to me that people who downplay stuff like that definitely don't know history in general.
No.
Because oftentimes the people who speak out and kind of speak their minds are oftentimes the ones that end up disappearing overnight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you go, and you look back and you go, yeah, they just got murdered for talking their own mind. Interesting. Again, I don't necessarily know his stance or whatever. I'm not advocating for or against it, but if he feels like that, he's probably a smart dude. I'm gonna be honest, or at least he has some common sense.
Yeah, I'll agree with the common sense thing. He also advocates for left-leaning politics, so yeah. I agree with him there. He also abuses his dog, so don't agree with that.
Yeah. Everyone's not perfect and stuff like that, and obviously don't abuse your dogs or animals in general or anything like that. But
yeah, I don't. I'm not even gonna get started on
that. We're not here to do that or whatever type thing. We're just saying this is a blanket statement. Yeah. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
dogs are nice. Be nice to them.
Exactly.
Controversial take.
Not actually.
No. The most lukewarm take on the planet. Ice cold take.
Yeah, I was like, pretty common sense take. Anyway, but I can't necessarily blame a guy for feeling that, it's like, if I show up, there's a realistic chance I could just get killed. And I'm like, well, what does that tell you?
That's just the world we live in now. Sad but true. Oh
God damn,
man.
man. It's like it's always the case when it comes to streaming and stuff like that. It's like the female streamers or whatever are just gonna have just the when it comes to just generally shitty viewers or whatever. It's just gonna have it way worse than most guys.
And that sucks. It really does suck. Because I hate that so much.
Oh yeah, it's not fair in any way, shape, or form. It's just it is what it is.
No, it's. I've seen that so much too. Be like, people only watch you because you're pretty or because you have a nice body or whatever. It's like you just can't.
There's no
go out and make.
It is sad because it's like there's realistically female streamers who are really good at what they do type thing, but then they'll get comments like that all the time, and you're just like, all right, well, fuck me, I guess. I do hope that Twitch does take this seriously, though. I really do.
I do too.
I was like, I hope they don't just in a year's time or whatever just go like, oh, whatever. That's a rare thing. It doesn't happen again. It won't happen again.
Just post like generic "I'm sorry" message every time something like that happens. Be like, okay, we did our best.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done better. And I'm like, could you? And it's like, if the streamer's big enough, do they hire their own security personnel?
I feel like that's what they're gonna have to do.
That's All right. Well, on a lighter note, the Packers freaking suck.
Yeah.
They lost to the Panthers. And now you lost Tucker Kraft for the year. Because he tore his ACL in that game. Yikes.
Man, it's such a 180 from talking about how good the Brewers were this season.
I mean, here's the thing is, I don't think the Packers are a bad team. It's just that their play calling is on that Sunday was just so bad. It was so bad. And they have no running game whatsoever. And you know the funny thing is, as we talk, today was the NFL trade deadline. ESPN and like football people bitch about how boring like the MLB or like NBA trade deadlines are. And yet there's only like 4 or 5 things that happen in the NFL trade deadline. And it's usually nothing at all. This is like one of the bigger ones where it's like, oh, Sauce Gardner for the Jets, one of the best cornerbacks, got traded to the Colts or whatever. And it's like, I think it was like Quincy Williams or whatever. And then there was like one other guy from, I think the Browns, that was pretty good, got traded. And I'm like, that's it. That was it. And they go, why does anyone get excited for this shit? And it's like, oh, where people were thinking, it was like, oh, the Packers are going to trade for a cornerback. I'm like, that's a good joke. They're going to trade for a tight end. That's the better joke. No, surprisingly, they did nothing. Not surprising at all, actually.
No.
Actually, I would say that probably 80% of the league didn't do anything today. And I think I'm being generous with 80%. So, I don't know. When it comes to it, it's just like, I think a lot of people, a lot of like sports places, I think have like legit case. They go, what really comes into question is like the offensive mindset that Matt LaFleur has or whatever, and it's just like it doesn't feel like he has one. And I go, yeah, it's almost like he hasn't had one for 3 years, basically. Look, I'm not a big fan of Matt LaFleur. I don't think he's a good coach at all. I think he is a good defensive mind for the most part. I think he'd make a great defensive coordinator. When it comes to a head coach, I don't see it, man. I don't think he has the feel for it. I think he has great mind for constructing a defense or constructing a certain part of a team, like aspect of a team, basically. But when it comes to making the big decisions and stuff like that, I just don't see it. I'm not saying he's the one to blame, considering the offense didn't do jack shit. But when the play calling is bad and it's not necessarily all LaFleur, it's just like, you're the head coach, dude. You know, you're the one that has the say in the end. It's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't throw a 40-yard pass into triple coverage with one receiver, basically. And you go, okay.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, you know. In the end, though, I also put a good amount of blame on Jordan Love. It's like there was some plays where I'm just like he was kind of like, he made some interesting decisions, like that 40-yard pass. I was like, you probably shouldn't have thrown it. Probably should have just bit the bullet and just thrown it out of bounds or something like that, but didn't do that. I get trusting your receivers, but ultimately it's like it didn't really come down to him, considering his line didn't fucking block for him all day. He was running for his goddamn life.
Not really showing his chops this season, that's for sure.
I don't know. And it's just like, the defense realistically only gave up 16 points, but the fact is that, and like, Bryce Young was only threw 20 passes and was 11 for 20 with like a bunch of yards. The fact is, you still couldn't stop the run. And it's like, when they're running, I don't know, probably 60, if not 50% of the time, when the running back has more yards than the quarterback, by the end of the day, it's not good.
No, not good at all.
So, I don't know. It was a trap game. It's what it was. They were looking ahead to the week after, and they were looking at the Eagles, going just like, that's going to be a big game. They did it when they faced the when they were facing the Browns the week before. They were going to Dallas, only to tie in the Dallas game, because yes, in the NFL we can still tie games. It's just like it happened again. Meanwhile, Monday night, you know, the Cowboys got beat by the freaking Kyler Murray-less Cardinals. I'm so glad the Packers tied at 3-5-1.
Yeah.
The Cowboys team. So glad. Just ick. I don't know. This NFL season is stupid. I don't know if you're paying attention to the NFL season at all. It makes no fucking sense.
I have had no idea what to make of it so far.
The Colts are somehow good. Daniel Jones looks like an MVP candidate and stuff like that, along with Jonathan Taylor, the running back for the Colts. And you're sitting there going just like, what? You mean the guy that was cut by the Giants because he was so bad? Got cut by the Vikings because he was so bad. Was brought in just to push Anthony Richardson a little bit harder to actually be a good NFL quarterback. Only to turn out that Anthony Richardson lost the position, and now Daniel Jones looks like an MVP. Meanwhile, over here we got Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield, you know, a failed quarterback as well. I say failed, but he just was in the worst situations possible for like 5, 6, 7 seasons or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's like over here, and he's leading Tampa Bay, who has more injuries than everything else. The good teams are bad, and the bad teams are good. Nothing makes sense. This NFL season makes no fucking sense. The Ravens are still over here sitting at like 2-5 or whatever. It's like, yeah, they've had Lamar hurt for a majority of the season, but it's like, like what is happening?
No fucking idea, dude.
It's just, the scriptwriters went a little too crazy this time around, if you ask me. I can't wait to see the Ravens come back and win their division, even though they definitely probably will, because their division is weak as hell. Dude, all I'm gonna say is that I'm on the Indiana Jones hype train. It's like we call Daniel Jones the Indiana Jones, and so whenever we talk about the Colts, you just go da 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 da. Exactly. It's a stupid football season. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I guess I could talk about the World Series a bit, but who cares about that, right?
I mean, I was out after the Brewers were out. I'm
The
being very petty about that.
Even though I didn't want the Dodgers to win, I will say it was a great World Series. I think both teams played the best, some of the best baseball they had. It's like we saw some of the best pitching from Yamamoto or whatever type thing, and the Blue Jays proved they can hang with them. Vladdy still went off, and despite the Blue Jays losing, it's like, dude, that guy had one of the best postseason performances of all time. Basically, it's like he hit like 8 home runs, and like had like an average of like 415 or something like that, with like an OPS over like, I think it's like 150 or something like that. It's insane. It's like he single-handedly put the Blue Jays basically on his back for the majority of the postseason, and it almost worked. Now, I'm not saying that the Blue Jays lineup didn't handle their own, but he was the heart and soul of that team, and he proved it.
Okay.
So I'll say that. But the Dodgers do what the Dodgers do, man. They find ways to win, and they hit the home runs when they needed to. Including that Game 7, as much as I was like, man, I really wanted the Blue Jays to win, boy, was it fucking crazy when Miguel Rojas, yes, known power hitter Miguel Rojas, the guy who hadn't gotten a base hit in over a month, hits the game-tying home run in the bottom of in the 9th inning. Like, you can't script that any more than that.
No.
Like, guy hadn't had a hit for over a month, comes up with the game on the line, and Ohtani up next, basically, and he just goes, oh yeah, I'm just going to send one deep to left field. What do you mean? I don't know. Trey Savage is one of the Blue Jays rookies that debuted in the playoffs, basically. Yes, you heard that right. A rookie that debuted in the playoffs was basically unhittable. His splitter was so good that no team could seem to hit it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, it's like, it was a great series, honestly. It's like, I still don't like the Dodgers. I still will never like the Dodgers. But,
No.
in essence,
you gotta give them credit when they play a good game, though.
yes, you do it. Like, you have the best talent on the thing or whatever, and they proved it. They showed it in essence, like they did. And like Yamamoto pitched 9 innings 2 days prior to that. Comes in the 11th inning or something like that, and just wins you the game. It's like, bro, this guy pitched 8 innings yesterday, and he's out here pitching another 2 innings today. Like, you don't see that too often in baseball or whatever. It's mainly because the one weakness the Dodgers had was their bullpen. So it's like, oh, how do we do that? How do we avoid that? Well, you should use your starters as bullpens guys. And it's like, yeah, because you can,
and it
pretty
worked,
much.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I hope teams, and it's what a lot of people are. A lot of players have kind of been wanting owners to do. Basically, it's like when, I know I've talked about this prior, but after this next season, after the 2026 season, the collective bargaining agreement is up with the Players Association. So a lot of people, myself included, are pretty sure we're either going to have a shortened 2027 season or we won't have a 2027 season at all. I think there's going to be a lockout, and there's going to be hard stances held by both sides, owners and players combined. It's going to suck, but it is the thing. And the number one thing is that owners want and I know, again, I know we talked about this, but it's like they want a salary cap. They want, like, oh, I can't spend more than this, basically, and because the players will basically say, well, it's just excuses for them not to give us more money, basically, and not to get us what we're worth, basically. I agree. But I do agree as well with the players that I think that the owners should also have a salary floor, a certain amount of money that they need to spend on players, in essence, because there are some teams that just don't spend money. And I am looking at the Brewers at this example because it's just like they don't spend money really at all. And it sucks. It really does. I just want them to spend just a little bit to keep around players. It's like now that the season's over, we're starting to get like you qualifying offers or whatever, and player options are being exercised type thing. It's like Brewers had one over Freddie Peralta, so they accepted his like $7 million option or whatever type thing. So he's like, he's basically on a 1-year contract with the Brewers for $7 million, and there's nothing he can do or say about it. Meanwhile, Brewers picked up Woodruff, but because it's a mutual option, he declined it. So he's now a free agent. It was $20 million for that one, so I was just like, he turned it down because he wants a longer contract. It's fair.
Yeah.
And as much as I want them to bring back Woodruff, they're probably not gonna, which is gonna suck.
Some bullshit right there.
Yeah, he's been the heart and soul of this pitching staff basically since like 2018. Basically, he's been one of the main leaders in that time. So I want him to keep around. I hope they can figure out something, but we'll see. He's a free agent, so any team can sign him. Same with like Jose Quintana. I didn't think they were going to pick him up anyway. He's pretty much at the end of his career, and Brewers have a bunch of pitching anyway. But the main one that I wanted to talk about was the William Contreras one. He's by far the best catcher in the National League. I know Will Smith exists, but I'm sorry, William Contreras is better than Will Smith. That's a hot take, but I fully agree with it. It is, because they're both extremely good.
Yeah.
And if we're looking at MLB in general, it's like Cal Raleigh is probably better, but either way, he's one of the best catchers in the game. Now he had a player option that he declined, or I think it was club option they declined, but because how MLB works is that your first like 7 seasons you're basically under what's called club control. So while you might not necessarily be under contract, no other team can offer you contracts yet because you're not a free agent.
Yeah.
And what will happen now is that they'll go into arbitration, which is basically just like the Brewers are going to say, hey, we think you're worth this much, with like all the salary stuff that kind of goes along with it. And Contreras is going to go, no, I think I'm worth this much. And then basically court hearings are going to decide which, after hearing like a small case and looking at statistics and numbers, basically, that they think that he's going to be worth. And that whatever they decide is what they're going to be paying him for, basically under 1-year contract. That's I'm
crazy.
Simplifying it very much so, but that's generally what it is. And then you can do that up until your 7th year, and then after that 7th year, you're a free agent. Then teams can get supplementary picks back for when if another team ends up signing you, as long as they've offered a qualifying offer. It's a whole thing. I don't need to get into it basically, but it's like. All that to say, it's like what I want them to do with Contreras is that I want them to sign him to a decent contract, because I think they realistically could, but because Antonaggio, the Brewers owner, does not want to spend money, he won't. They'll ride this until they can't, and then they'll either trade him on the year that he would be a free agent, or they'll let him walk.
That's so fucking frustrating, dude.
Yeah. And this is the problem with small markets and stuff like that. And it's like I'm not saying the Brewers need to spend $300 million or whatever on these superstars. We're never going to get the superstars.
Something, yeah.
Exactly. But I want them to sign role players. I want them to keep around the prospects that they have. I want to see them sign William Contreras. I want to see them sign Sal Frelick. I want to see them sign Bryce Terang. I want to see them sign Caleb Durbin in a few years type thing. And you can wait on some of those contracts because you have club control. But the most immediate one is Contreras. Because he is a leader of this team. He continues to be one of our best bats, and he is one of the best defensive catchers in the league. He's so important to this team that I just can't. You can't let him walk away. You can't let him just go. You need to offer him something. It's frustrating because I want them to do it every time, and they never fucking do. And I'm like, I want that, and that's why I'm like this. The whole idea of a salary floor, and a certain amount of money that an owner needs to spend on either players that are not under contract or free agents and stuff like that to make a team better, to compete more often. Basically, that's the whole point of the floor, is that it'll make teams more competitive because they're spending more money on players, which means that their team will ultimately be getting better. So that way, when instead of having 120 loss Colorado Rockies, we might actually have more competitive games. That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, people complain, myself included, that for a little while that the Dodgers are ruining baseball type thing. Even Dave Roberts after the Brewer series was like, "Oh yeah, let's go ruin baseball some more," and stuff like that, joking about it type thing, or whatever.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
A lot of people say that the Dodgers are ruining baseball because they're spending all this money, and way more than any other team will ever want to spend. Basically, even more than the Yankees or Boston or whoever type thing. But in essence, what they're doing is they're making the best possible team to win it all. And isn't that theoretically what every team should want to do? Now, I'm not saying that should a team spend $700 million and defer every payment for 30 fucking years? No. It's just that you need to convince some of these lower market, these smaller markets, or even mid-tier markets, or even high-tier markets, considering the Yankees don't spend money anymore past Aaron Judge. It's like when you look at that team, it's like Aaron Judge is easily, well, and Cole, I guess, but it's like between probably like 4 players, that's a majority of all the money you spent. And I'm like, and there's still so many holes you have on this team. I don't know. So I just want to see teams spending just a bit more money, including the Brewers. I want them to keep around this core. It's like they have a great core team here, and I want them to keep it around for as long as possible, considering as well that you have some of the best prospects in all of baseball with Jesus Mate and Luis Pena coming up. I think that's his name. I don't remember the other prospect's name, but I know it's Jesus Mate is probably going to be coming up in the next few years. And most likely the Brewers are going to do exactly what they did with Jackson Chourio, is before he even makes his Major League debut, they'll probably sign him to what's probably less than he should be getting at that point. But it's like it's under the argument that, well, we're giving you this money even before you make your Major League debut. Like, we don't necessarily know what we're getting from you type thing. And I go, you're betting on him being good and everything like that. And it's just like, okay, yeah. But it's like, you also feel like you're kind of skimping out on potential superstars. So, but it's whatever. Ultimately, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, though. I think it's like, because by the time that Chourio is off his contract, I mean, he's going to be about the same age as he probably would be getting off of, like, club control anyway. It's like a few more years, probably. So, I don't know. Ultimately, it means that they don't have to deal with the arbitration process as well. So,
that'll be good.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just, you got to, if you're the Milwaukee Brewers, you got a good thing going here.
Just
let's not fuck it up. You have a great core here. You have a great core here. First base might be a little bit of an issue, considering we're not sure what we're going to get from Andrew Vaughn next year. But I think you have great prospects over at first base as well. It's like, I think that if you can maybe even have Yelich potentially play first base as well, instead of just DHing the whole time. I don't know if they're going to want to do that because of his whole back situation. So they're trying to lighten the load. So only hitting tends to be good, and he was able to keep healthy for a majority of the season as a result of that. So I think they're going to probably stick with that. But it's like, realistically, it's like, you're gonna have to like your main concerns you're looking for over this offseason is probably adding at least another relief pitcher or two. At least one, I'd like to say. I don't know exactly who that'd be. If not, we're probably just going to call up some prospects. I mean, Craig Yoho looked okay last year. He's definitely a little rough around the edges, though. But he's got a good changeup. So, and then starting pitching is so interesting because you have so many starters at this point. I don't necessarily know if you need more. But what I would like to see is Freddie get an extension. And I would like to see them re-sign Woodruff. But, like I said, I'm not sure that's going to happen. But we shall see. All I know is Pat Murphy better win his second Manager of the Year award. He's the finalist up there with for the National League. It was Pat Murphy. Who was it? It was the Phillies manager, and I don't even remember who the third candidate was. But I'm like, I mean, I couldn't imagine it not being Pat Murphy. I mean, like we had the best record in baseball, and nobody would have seen that coming. especially where you were in May. It's like, come on, believe in the pocket pancakes. I wish I had the insight and enough knowledge to do, all the big free agents, but I don't. I know one of the big free agents is going to be Alex Bregman, third baseman, and I'm like, man, if the Brewers could sign Alex Bregman, that'd be amazing. That's never going to happen.
No,
he's going to be way too much money and more than they're going to want to spend, and he'll probably do the classic because his agent is Scott Boras, and if you know if you cringe when you heard that name, don't. You're not wrong because Boras is one of those is a baseball agent that basically he will hold out. He will tell the players to hold out for as long as humanly possible, including signing a contract the day before a season begins. Basically, it's like you miss out on all of spring training as a result of that. And what will oftentimes happen is that he'll. If it's not already a massive contract, basically, for 10 plus years for a ridiculous amount of money type thing, it'll probably be just we'll sign this 3-year contract for $90 million, stuff like that, but it needs to have an opt out after each year. So it's and that's what happened with Bregman. That's what happened with Cody Bellinger for the Yankees or whatever. It's they both signed a 3-year. 3-year deals, $30 million each year, basically. But it was an opt out after every year. So it's if they had a good year, they could just opt out and try for a bigger contract with another team. Damn. No one likes Boras.
No,
the players do.
I can't imagine.
The players necessarily do because they get the most money. I really hope there isn't a lockout in 2027, but I think it's inevitable at this point. It's unless something changes very drastically in the next year, I don't see it happening. There's just too much disagreements or whatever. And you know what's really going to annoy me about the whole thing too, is that everyone will hop off of baseball because of that. That happened in the 90s with the whole strike or whatever. It's a lot of older people jumped off baseball as a result of it, and it's numbers suffered for years. Only recently have they gotten back to the point where it's there's Game 7 of the World Series had 10 million more people watching that Game 7 than were watching the NBA that were watching Game 7 of the NBA playoffs last year.
Really?
10 million more viewers.
That's pretty nuts.
For everyone that says baseball is boring or baseball is dead, I'm no. It's doing better than the NBA, and the NBA is not doing great at the moment. I feel for the past couple of years, it's just when it comes to, I'll say this, the NBA when it comes to regular season is sometimes some of the most boring games or whatever type thing, and it's just not really fun games to watch or whatever.
I've never paid attention to the NBA. I'm going to be completely honest.
But
I watched a Bucks game with my little brother once, but that's about it.
Yeah, but the NBA playoffs are some of the best basketball you will ever watch. Like, when teams are legitimately serious, because these are the games that really, really, really matter, it's like, that's where you get some of the best basketball you will see all year long. It's like guys trying hard, and everything like that. It's like playing their best basketball they ever, like, and like guys playing like 40+ minutes basically, because, and just like you can just see the sweat just dripping off their head because they're just like, fuck, I'm fucking tired, but we gotta win. It's like that. There's no better basketball than that. The only thing that could potentially be better than that is the March Madness college basketball that happens, because it's win or go home.
Yeah.
Basically. So, but the NBA just hasn't been able to replicate that in the regular season, and I don't know if they necessarily will. Like, ever, honestly, unless like,
no, probably not.
Because the main thing as well when it comes to it is like, is this idea of load management, basically, is what they call it, where it's like the NBA has been trying to stop teams from just sitting their star players, because it's just like what oftentimes ends up happening is that they try to rest their star players because for regular season games that don't necessarily matter, type thing, so that way they're ready and healthy for the playoffs. Okay, seems good or whatever, but what does that mean for players? What does that mean for the fans that go to watch the games, or watch the games on TV, or go to the games hoping to see their favorite players playing and stuff like that? It's not particularly the greatest thing or whatever type thing.
No.
So what the NBA has tried to do is that they implemented this 65 game rule, that a player needs to play at least 65 games to be recognized for any awards, basically. And some players may or may not care about that, or whatever type thing. And then they introduce a thing where it's like, oh, you can't just sit players just for the sake of sitting players. Like, there needs to be at least an injury or something like that, a reason, like a legitimate reason for them to not be playing in the game or whatever. And a lot of teams have been they say, oh, well, this guy has a bad ankle, or, you know, is sore, he's got a sore back type thing, so we're sitting him for precautionary reasons. It's an injury and stuff like that. And a lot of people, and specifically with a recent interview with Michael Jordan, talked about it. It's like, he accused LeBron, especially. I mean, granted, the guy's 40-something years old at this point, but it's like, but even in the past, and even the past years, and he called out LeBron specifically, but he was talking about star players in general. It was just like about faking injuries for this as well. And a lot of people have always accused him or whatever, but the NBA is not really stepping in.
No.
So
can't imagine they would.
Yeah. So it's just like, there's no way.
You can't just go up to you can't just go up to someone and be like, "You're not injured. Get back out there."
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's difficult. So, I don't know. That's just the thing. It's like NBA regular season, not the greatest. NBA postseason, probably some of the best basketball you're going to watch. If it's a good series and they feel equally matched, oh yeah. Well, should we call it there then?
Unless you want to talk at all about the spoilers that came out for fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Not right now. I've seen a few of them, but they're not at the moment.
All right.
So,
TLDR, I am extremely whelmed.
Yeah, some there's some pretty interesting ones, and then there's some like, okay. So, anyway, thank y'all so much for listening and or watching the podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, or leave us a nice little review. Tell some friends about the podcast potentially. And yeah, got anything else to say over there?
No, that's about it.
Nice. Anyway, we'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.